Yummy. I'm a Capricorn, babe, okay? I'm a Capricorn. Scorpio rising, Libra sun, okay?
You've been wildin', blaming everything on your problems.
Hello, and welcome to Free Therapy. I am your hostess with the mostest. Yes, I am actually. My name is Jade, and this is my talk show. So I know a lot of people might be confused or have questions about like my podcast phase and is it over? You might not even care, but I'm going to tell you regardless. So at the end of the day, I started Perspective the podcast. I did a couple episodes and then I started making the visual behind it. And it was like very simple stuff, whatever. But I was more excited for the visual than I was of the audio. The audio was amazing. Of course, the conversations were great. But in reality, I like the visual aspect of it. I am going to be a talk show host. I am a talk show host, so this is my talk show. Welcome to Free Therapy. Okay, cool. So now that we got that out of the way, so I'm so excited for this. I've been wanting to do this for so long. So in this episode, I just kind of want to tell you what free therapy is going to be, why I started it, and things of that nature. But pretty much what I want free therapy to be is just like, I'm going to have guests on. The guests will be some of my family members. The next episode is going to be with my ex. So fun, so juicy. And then, like, it could genuinely be anyone that has an opinion. If you can formulate an opinion and if you want to have a conversation about it, you can come on. I feel like it's important just to have even simple conversations over and over with other people just to get different perspectives. Hence the reason Perspective the podcast. But like, since we might get in our feels, we're going to call it free therapy. You get me? I'm just like full of creativity. It just flows. It genuinely flows out of me like nothing. Anyway, moving forward. So I basically want to tell you guys where I'm at in my life. Like therapy wise, no, not like as like a open therapy forum type of thing. I'm just going to tell you about me like really quickly or whatever, but like pretty much where I am right now as a 23-year-old. So background really quick, grew up in Broward County, whatever. That's pretty much where I know majority of the people that I know that are probably going to watch this at first. Love it. Left it, went to Orlando, came back. Here I am. I'm in Miami, right? As a 23-year-old, I just moved into my very first apartment without having roommates. And I've always known I've been a little bourgeois, right? I've been a little bourgeois. I come to Miami. I get a job serving at Bacon Bitch. And trust me, there will be a Bacon Bitch fucking episode. Okay? Because my thing is, you will not silence me, mother truckers. You won't. Yeah, you're not going to. And you're laughing? Yeah. It's not funny, babe. It's not cute and it's not funny, okay? Anyway, we'll talk about it later. I don't support them. You shouldn't either. Let's move forward. So I start working at Bacon Bitch. So I start touching like my first little bit of money. Like as working in Miami, anywhere that has clout, anywhere that you know will be busy, will have a good opportunity for like money flow, you know, like so working at hotels like the W, Fontainebleau, bars on South Beach, pretty much anywhere on South Beach, Brickell, downtown, you know, places like that, it'll have its bread, you know. So I started touching my first amount of money. I'm a Capricorn, babe, okay? I'm a Capricorn, Scorpio rising, Libra sun, okay? So I'm just really good at money management. It's always been my thing. Like I moved out of my house the second I graduated from high school. Like I went on a cruise with my friends the day after I moved out of my house to Orlando. It was in a house with my sister, but that was the first time I ever had to pay bills. I didn't know how much rent cost until I moved. And then I cleared my bank account. But luckily, like I already had a job, like I was transferring. So I already had a job or whatever. So I wasn't stressed about it. But like I had $5 in my account after I paid my first month's rent. And I was confused because that's never happened to me before. Mind you, my rent was only $450 at the time. I should tell you how much I'm paying right now, but I won't. I will never. It's really not that bad, but I still won't. It's like not that bad. I probably will eventually. I'll tell you. I don't care. Anyway, so I moved out when I was young. I've always been good at, well, since then, I've always paid for everything by myself. Like my dad, he would help me here and there, but like I moved out, I'm living by myself. I was supporting myself. Like you get me? Like from the age of 18, whatever. So I've always been good with money. I've never been down bad like that. So when I started touching this little bit of money in Miami, babe, I saved everything. Like I took myself to nice dinners here and there, but I saved like majority of everything. I budgeted out everything. Put in my savings account, started investing. That was a big thing for me. Um, and now here I am. I get imposter syndrome sometimes because it's a brand new building in downtown Miami. I mean, I am 23 years old, so I guess this is like, I guess I'm on track or whatever, but this is pretty nice. Like, I'm proud of myself a little bit. But anyway, so like, that's where I am physically, right? So let's talk about mentally. Mentally, right now, I feel like I've been stagnant for a long time. So, in following all of that, it's kind of funny to say, but in 2021, I've only worked 3 months, right? We're in September. So I've had a lot of time to myself. Even coming back from COVID last year. Last year, I probably only worked 3 months too, and that's probably how I got used to doing nothing, I guess. It's weird because so many people would look at me and be like, oh, Jade, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so much with yourself. But I'm not. I'm just living. Like, I'm forced to do this. Like, I might as well do it all good or whatever. But, like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not challenging myself. So, with COVID last year, I was at home for majority of the year. This year, I've been at home for majority of the year. And I'm probably going to get another job, but the job's not going to be something challenging to me. It's going to be somewhere I can make money, of course, but it's not going to be mentally challenging for me. And I feel like that's genuinely what I need. Um, so I just feel like it's fun. Okay, so I feel like I don't have anything figured out, and I feel like I should, especially for where I'm at. And whenever I think of that, I always think of the movies, how people or the adults are always like, well, you're only in your 20s. You're not supposed to know what's going on. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. Like, you're so young, all of this stuff. It's hard to balance that and then also realize that I'm self sufficient and I'm still in a 1 bedroom apartment in downtown Miami. It's just, does that make sense? So, yeah, I have ADHD and I feel like it's really obvious, but that's fine. Mid sentence, completely forgot what was going on. We're fixing that. Anyway, so yeah, it's hard to balance just like what you see and what you grew up with that like you, no, that's not what I'm saying. It's like my standard of living makes me feel like I should have more figured out than I do. And I don't want to tell myself that like, oh, you just got lucky. Like, oh, this is just happening. This is by chance, cuz it's not. Cuz I worked for it and I budgeted for it. I deserve it because I did the work for it, you know? So, it's fighting that imposter syndrome. Um and I feel like that was the point I was trying to make. Did we do good? Did we do good on making a point? Did it, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Mentally, I'm trying to get it figured out, but the more I talk, the better I can understand myself, my thoughts, and my feelings surrounding my thoughts, you know? And it's kind of crazy because, okay, so this is not another, but this is a huge thing that happened in my life, probably the biggest thing that happened in my life that has made me to be who I am today is the passing of my mom when I was 15. Um, so, when my mom died when I was 15, I feel like for majority of the people that know me and have known me majority, like a lot of my life, they can tell you that I've always been this eccentric, exorbitant, like gregarious, loquacious, throwing all of these words out there, just like this loud and like extravagant, outgoing person, right? And I feel like after my mom died, that same energy with that same magnitude and that same force was being pushed into distractions that weren't good for me. So that's when I started smoking. That's when I got my car. I was the only one in my house. My dad started traveling, so I had the house to myself. I had a car. Um, I was like leaving class, like literally driving off my high school campus in the middle of the day. That's when I started doing the do, you know? Like it was kind of and I just think oh, no. What I was trying to say is like in that process, when I was doing all of that, that's when social media started becoming social media was one of those distractions for me. And I group that with all of that negativity because it holds the same magnitude. It's held at the same magnitude as those, to me at least, or at least that time in my life. I say that because I would be on Twitter, on Instagram, just like meeting random people. I didn't give a fuck. Sorry, if the angle is different, my battery died, so I had to switch it really quick. But if we had more than like three followers in common, I'd be like, oh yeah, no, it's fine. This person knows this person. It's all good. And like I was just not being safe and everything like that. But like not only that, I started to really care about just everything. I wouldn't even say how people viewed me because I've never been that person, but it was more so like I lost my voice in the process of doing all of this like stupid stuff. And I would go to tweet and I would literally delete everything that I tweeted and be like, and I would just tell myself, nobody cares. Like, nobody gives a fuck. Like, why are you saying that? Like, nobody cares. And like, before I tweeted anything, I would say, nobody cares. Okay, but nobody cares. Nobody's listening to you. Nobody cares. And it was just like this self depreciating thought in the back of my head. And eventually, like, I got off Twitter completely for like probably like a year, um, maybe like 8 months, but like a long time, you know? And I feel like in that, by doing that to myself, along with everything else, of course, like obviously I grew out of it. I'm an adult now. I have shit to do. Like I have shit to lose. Like I'm not like that anymore. But still, yeah, so I just feel like in the process of doing all of that, I lost my voice, I lost my personality. I started to hold myself back within like activities because I'm like, oh, nobody cares. Like, do I even care? Do I want to do this? Will I like it got to the point where I wouldn't really do anything else. It's still kind of at that point. Like, and it's so crazy to me, but I'll finish my thought before I get into it. Um, that I wouldn't even really do anything if I didn't have somebody with me. I don't know why. Somehow I'm blaming it on my ADHD. I saw one TikTok one time about body doubling, saying that like women with ADHD just work better when there's somebody else in the room, even if they're not talking to them, like, like a silent partner almost, And ever since then, I kind of just use that as an excuse. But realistically, I feel like, I don't know, I just lost a certain part of myself. And I feel like in 2018, or no, it was 2019, I got to a point where I recognized that I can't live like that. Like that's not who I am. And I think that's when I booked my flight to when I backpacked Europe for the first time. I went by myself, and I think to myself all the time, because even today, like to this day, I order my groceries. I go out when I'm going out with my friends. Like if I have to go to a party or an event by myself, it's like a huge accomplishment to me. It's something I highlight, you know. But I think to myself all the time, at my grown age, I look back at my 18-year-old self. I'm not even that much older than I was before. I'm like, how did I backpack Europe by myself, but I won't walk to that restaurant and have lunch by myself? It's not that I don't love myself, because I'm obsessed with myself, but for some reason my confidence has been shot lately. Um, so where I'm at in my life right now, with that whole backstory being said, that's why I made free therapy, because as an adult, I'm trying to grow out of that. I'm trying to regain my voice. I'm trying to be who I know I am, you know? So here I am, just talking it out with a bunch of strangers. What I do best, baby. I don't know. I'm in my apartment. I'm looking at my camera and I'm just comfortable. And I hope if it's not relatable, it'll somehow be helpful. And if it's not helpful to you, maybe somebody can leave a message for me, a comment for me. Tell me what you would recommend for me to do to get out of this funk. If you were in this funk, like what helped you get out. If you're there right now, if you need somebody to relate to, I'm here. But, so this was only this episode. Realistically, I'll be talking about anything and everything just because I want to. If you want to listen to me, feel free. If not, I'll be talking regardless because this is my voice and I can do that. You like that, huh? Because I do. I like that. Anyway, so since this is the first episode, I'm going to go ahead and cut it here. I want to say thank you guys for listening. And I hope that you come with me on this journey because, of course, it's only up from here. We can only do better. I'll only push myself to do better. I'll push for consistency and really dedicate myself to regaining the confidence that I know that I have in me. Like, I know it's in here. When I'm around people I'm comfortable with, that confidence comes out like that. But it should be with me when I'm alone as well. I shouldn't feel insecure alone and confident with others. It just shouldn't be like that. Anyway, so that's the first episode of Free Therapy. Thank you guys for listening. And next episode, we'll either be talking to my dad or my ex-boyfriend. So pick a hand. Comment below. Tell me which video you want first because we're going to be done at the same time. Oh. Okay, babes. Bye. I'll see you guys later.